Alright. I got some interesting news today. I was reading an article from the Toro Times on the fan-sided app on my phone, talking about how J.J. Watt does not have to be as dominant as he was for the defense to be dominant as a whole. And I was reading it, and I agreed for the most part, because we did well without him. But there was a guy who commented and disagreed. I read his comment, and he was saying that you need your best players to play big. You need J.J. Watt to be as dominant, because we lost Quentin Demps, we lost John Simon, we lost Vince Woolfolk, and we lost A.J. Boye. And I was like, okay. Sorry I'm talking a little slow. Also trying to play this play out here, but I didn't realize I couldn't chew bubblegum and walk at the same time here. But anyway, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think I see the same thing other people see when they're watching games. Because, oh man, when Clowney first came on the scene, Watt, you could tell, felt challenged, because he broke out and had probably his best season ever. He had something like 5 touchdowns that year, playing as a tight end, returning an interception, returning a fumble for touchdown. I think he blocked a couple extra points, field goal. I think he had a couple penalties trying to block a punt. There you go, roughing the kicker, and got the ball right back for the other team. That's what I want to get into, is that his aggression sometimes costs the team. A big example was last year before he was placed on IR. I don't think he was placed on IR because he really couldn't play. I think it was a team decision by the coaching staff to show Watt that they don't need him for the team to be good, for the Texans defense to be good, because it's the first time in Texans history that they were #1 overall. First time ever. And it was without Watt there. Granted, he did hurt his back, but I think he could have played, because when you watch the Texans when they played the Patriots in Week 3 last year, when they were playing a third-string quarterback, rookie, in his first start, and they lost to him. That's embarrassing. And a play that stood out, which I saw Cronell end up bitching at Watt for, was Watt leaving his assignment where he was guarding the edge. On the screen here, it would be the right edge, but we know he's a left end. He has the edge. On that play, he was the guy who's to make sure no one gets outside of him. And it was actually a read option play. And on this play, Jacoby Brissett fakes a handoff to the running back, who comes over to the left of the field. And Watt, who's supposed to be, or where this tight end is on the other side, is unblocked, because they want to take advantage of his aggressiveness. And Watt eyes that running back and comes running in behind the line, trying to get that running back, because he wants to make a great play behind the line of scrimmage and be like, yeah. But it was a fake the whole time, and Watt left his assignment. He didn't play disciplined. So Jacoby Brissett ran a 20-plus yard touchdown through the hole that Watt should have been filling. gave up a touchdown. The Texans lost to a third-string quarterback in Week 3, and partly because of Watt's over-aggressiveness. I know he wants to make plays against the Patriots, but that is not how to do it, because they take advantage of that. And the Super Bowl that the Patriots went undefeated and lost to the Giants, there was a few times they wanted to take advantage of Michael Strahan's aggression, because they knew he wanted to get a sack on Tom Brady, especially in the Super Bowl. So what did they do? They ran a couple screens at Michael Strahan. But Michael Strahan played it smart, disciplined. He didn't rush the quarterback. He stayed back, and he made a couple plays on the running back so that they couldn't make the throw, or he made the tackle right when he got the ball. That screwed up the Patriots' plan. They tried to take advantage of his aggression. Did not work. With J.J. Watt, it worked. And I think the coaching staff last year was trying to get him to chill out. He doesn't have to go 100% all the time. He has a team that can play with him and help him. He can chill out, and on important downs, 3rd and long, or it's inside the 2-minute warning and the other team's trying to drive down the field to get a winning score. Those are the times where he's got to go all out. But he still has to play disciplined, because they could take advantage of his aggression with a screen pass or something like a read option. But I think that was more of a lesson to him, to get him to chill, to show that it's not J.J. Watt and the supporting cast, it's the Houston Texans. He can be part of the team, or I don't know what they'll do. I can't speak for them. Oh, the fans would hate to see him go. But I come from a different nature. I didn't grow up a Texans fan. Even though I guess a lot of people didn't, because they didn't come around until 2002. But I grew up in New England. I live in South Texas now, but I grew up watching the Patriots and watched them become the team they are today. And growing up, we didn't take losing. We didn't want... We did like big stat guys who did amazing plays and have amazing games and put up crazy numbers, but we wanted to win. And I remember in 2001, we had Terry Glenn from Ohio State playing amazing. He had a couple games over 200 yards in the beginning of the season. And he seemed to be getting the ball all the time. Had a huge connection, chemistry going on with Tom Brady. And it was like, this is pretty good. Well, come week 5 or so into the season, Bill Belichick trades him to the Packers for like a 4th round pick. And it was like, are you kidding me? This guy is putting up amazing numbers. Why are you doing this? Well, apparently, Belichick didn't want Tom Brady just looking at one receiver. He wanted him to learn to look at everybody. Because when you play good defenses, they're going to focus on your comfort zone. You want to go to Terry Glenn every play, good teams are going to shut him down. And when they do, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So he just traded him to teach that. And it ended up making it so the Patriots won the Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf at the time, the St. Louis Rams. Now, that's the attitude that I come from. It's about the team. It's about winning. Not about players putting up big numbers. I know Brady puts up big numbers now, but early in his career he didn't. He did what was needed to win. And that year we had Antoine Smith. I don't even know if anybody knows him. Running back drafted by the Bills. We got him. He was the running back. We just pound the ball with Antoine Smith. Boom, boom, boom. And Tom Brady managed the game. Then in the other couple Super Bowls, we had Corey Dillon pounding the rock. and we had a great defense. Tom Brady just played smart, and he played confident when the game was on the line and made good decisions. And then he had a breakout year when Randy Moss came over and showed that if he has stars around him, he can play very well. Unlike what I'm doing at this practice here against the Jaguars. But about 8-10 years ago, I moved to Texas. And I started watching the Texans, becoming a fan about 2013. Season they went 2-14. They only won 2 games. And it was hard for me because I'm not used to that. We don't put up with that. There's big changes that go on in New England when we lose a game. Stuff changes. And it didn't. And I was like, this coaching staff sucks. It really does. And it was hard watching the 2-14 Texans. Especially that year. I think it was the Seahawks. It might have been the year they went to the Super Bowl. It might have been 2014. But it was when their defense was amazing and Marshawn Lynch was running over everybody. That game was when Brian Cushing knifed in and smashed Marshawn Lynch. Just boom! And Marshawn Lynch, like, his world was rocked. He just dropped the ball, fumbled it. And I was like, holy shit, this guy just knifed in there and put beast mode on his ass. It made him just cough the ball up. And the Texans defense played well. And they probably could have won that game if Schaub didn't throw a couple pick sixes. But I was surprised because I really like defense. I like great defensive games, and that was a game that stuck out to me where I was like, you know what, this team can do something. And I had a bunch of hope, but I think a couple games later, Cushing got hurt, and the defense kind of fell apart, and the whole season fell apart for the Texans that year. But the next year, the Texans got, what the heck, I didn't even jump for it. Just playing defense there. They got a few of my favorites from New England. Romeo Crennel came over as defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel, old linebacker for the Patriots. Old Buckeye came over as a linebackers coach, which was interesting when Crennel went to the Chiefs. Vrabel went over as a linebacker to help out, set up the defense they got as well. And O'Brien setting up that amazing offense they had in 2011, where Gronk brought for a touchdown in the season with 17 for a tight end, showing that he's like a what's the word I'm looking for? He has ingenuity, he has creativity. He comes up with new stuff and figures out ways to move the ball and score points. And not only that, he wasn't afraid to get in the face of 3-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady when he messed up, which was great. Like that kind of fire. And I like that he went in to Penn State, showed that he's a leader when all that shit happened with Penn State. I really like that. But anyway, lost my train of thought trying to concentrate on that play. Oh yeah, a lot of the Patriots coaches and everything came over around the same time I was becoming a fan, and it was like, this is just meant to be. And then the first guy they draft is Jadeveon Clowney, and they start calling him JD, and it happens to be my name. I was like, this is just meant to be here, meant to be. And another thing happened that just seems meant to be is I was reading an article here, like I mentioned, about J.J. Watt It doesn't have to be dominant. And I think it's preparing fans to realize he's going to chill out a bit. Because it's a team sport. And if it's just going to be J.J. Watt and his supporting cast, teams are just going to focus on J.J. Watt like the Patriots do. And they're going to beat us. Every time. But if it's the Texans' team defense that they have to stop everybody. They can't just focus on one person. Because somebody else will step up and make a play. So it can't be just J.J. Watt hogging everything. Even though I love watching the J.J. Watt show, I want to see some Super Bowl wins. I would love to see an awesome career and J.J. Watt go to the Hall of Fame and be one of the best, if not the best, defensive linemen in NFL history, and he's a Texan. That would be amazing. But I'd rather have Super Bowls. Super Bowl victories. A bunch of championships. Oh. I remember Peyton Manning. Back, what did actually 2014 or so? Maybe 2015, where he broke all kinds of passing records, threw over 50 touchdowns, like 55 touchdown passes, went to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks and laid an egg, just sucked, and they lost like 45-3. It was embarrassing. But he had an amazing MVP season. You know, isn't that good enough? No, it's not. One player did well. Whoop-de-doo. Good for him. What about the rest of the team? The team gets diddly squat. You know, I bet Peyton, at least I hope he would, give up that MVP for the Super Bowl win. Because it's amazing watching J.J. Watt do what he does and to get Defensive Player of the Year. And maybe he could be the first defensive player to get 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. But what would that matter if we just lose in the playoffs? We don't even go to the Super Bowl. What would that matter? So what I ended up doing is I replied to this guy talking about this, and I saw that you could apply to be a writer for Fansided as on the Toro Times. And I wrote an example article talking about what I'm talking about here to show my ability to write, and hopefully I'll be working for Toro Times before you know it. I'll keep getting at it even if they tell me no. I'll start my own blog, which I did under the Maddening on blogspot.com using Houston Texans football, and yeah, I guess one way or another that's what I'm going to be doing these videos here, chatting about what I'm writing about. Hopefully I'll be doing it for someone like the Toro Times. It'd be kind of a dream job, but time will tell. If you want to check out that article, I'll put the link to it in the info box here when I'm done making this video. It's just a shorter version of what I've been talking about. I didn't get into detail of where I come from and where I am, but just talking about someone like Dan Marino putting up Hall of Fame numbers. Hall of Fame quarterback. Never won a Super Bowl because it's a team sport. Emmitt Smith, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's a Hall of Famer because he had a team around him. That's why he also won 3 Super Bowls. He had a great offensive line. He had Troy Aikman there, who also had Jay Novacek, Michael Irvin, even Elvin Harper to help him out. And they also had the Doomsday defense. So it was a team. Very talented team that put all that together. Oh, come on. So, that's just something you got to think about. Reggie White, he played well with the Eagles. He's basically their only really good player. So what is that worth if you don't win anything? He goes to the Packers where he has a good defense with him. He's Brett Favre on the offense. What do? They win a Super Bowl and go to another. It's because it's a team sport. So Texans fans need to really decide if they just want to watch J.J. Watt and just be a Watt fan, or are you going to be a Texans fan and it's about the team? Because that's what you really ought to do. Because J.J. Watt's not going to be there forever. He wasn't there last year. It's good to be fans of these players that play well, but it's about the team and it's about winning. So I just wanted to make that blog talking about it. Hopefully make a job out of it. And make this video to just kind of vent about it. Talk about it a little bit. See what you guys think about it. Especially Texans fans. Do you really think, oh, we need Watt to dominate? Because team did well without him. Because the next time we played the Patriots, we didn't have Watt. We also didn't have John Simon or Quentin Dempson there. And we gave Tom Brady a nightmare that's going to haunt him for the rest of his career, for the next time he plays us. He had less than 50% completion percentage, threw 2 interceptions when he only threw 2 interceptions all year. It was the worst game of the season last year for him, and probably one of the worst, if not the worst game he's ever played in his career. Yet he won because it's a team sport, it's not just about him. And we had Brock throwing interceptions. That didn't help any either. Didn't help at all. Good thing we got rid of him. But, yeah, I guess I'll just talk about what I mentioned in the blog, too, about we don't have Vince anymore, so we don't... Part of the guy's argument was that we don't have Demps, we don't have Simon, we don't have Boye, and we don't have Will Folk on the team anymore. Will Folk is great and all, but he's not as good as he used to be when he was with the Patriots. He's more of a teacher now. And he did a good job teaching DJ Reader. DJ Reader shown that he learned a lot from him and that he has the ability to play nose tackle or nose guard, and that he can do a good job at it. He's gonna do a fine job replacing Will Folk. After learning from him and putting youth into the position, it's gonna be great. But Simon wasn't really even in with the team that much last year. He missed a lot of games. He wasn't in the game against the Patriots in the playoffs. We're going to be fine without him, especially drafting someone like Zach Cunningham and a couple of the other undrafted free agents that we brought in. It's not going to be a big loss. It's probably not even noticeable. Because someone like Zach Cunningham can generate the pass rush that he did, but also probably cover a lot better. He seems like a very athletic guy. Long arms to play zone, bat some balls down. And AJ Boye, that seems like it's a big loss, but Kevin Johnson's going to easily replace him. Kevin Johnson's better than AJ Boye. He's probably got just as much experience as Boye when Boye actually came in and just shocked everybody with how well he can actually play. Johnson's going to come in and do the same thing. The only thing that seems to be a big loss was Demps. Because against the Patriots, we had Corey Moore out there, who seems like he can only play in the box, tackle some people, because back there in coverage, he looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And if he just broke up a couple of those passes back down the field, because what the Texans were doing was just covering short, because they know that's what Tom Brady does, throw a lot of short passes to his quick receivers. If he just broke up some of those passes down there, Texans would have a better shot of winning. Because Tom Brady, all he could do was try to throw deep, but he didn't have a lot of time to throw the ball. It's actually a pretty smart game plan. Just rush the shit out of Tom Brady and cover short so that he can't throw short, but he doesn't have any time to let anything deep develop. And it worked out pretty well, except for plays that Corey Moore just couldn't break up. But if someone like KJ Dillon can step up, that would be awesome, because that guy has some attitude. He likes to pop people in the mouth and then run his mouth. I want to say, oh, damn it. Anyway, I like to see him get out there. He could be like poor man's Cam Chancellor. Could be like having another Bernard Pollard out there, laying haymakers on people. Bring some attitude to the team. That would be nice. Because Cushing does that, but he doesn't do it as well as he used to. He's just not the same. It'd be good to have somebody who comes in there, just lays a hit on somebody and gets the team fired up. But if not, if somebody like Robert Nelson stepped up as a nickel corner, showed that he could do that, like how AJ Boye stepped up last year, I think Kareem Jackson could probably move to the strong safety or free safety and do just as well as Demps, if not better. So it shouldn't be a big... I tried to cut that in the hole there. Shouldn't have tried that. But anyway, the defense is going to be set. Especially just having the fear of Watt out there is going to change things. It's going to allow Clowney to play better. It's going to... that was a horrible throw. It's going to allow Merciless to get more pressure. It's going to change things up quite a bit. And should be exciting. Having a humble, rested J.J. Watt out there, it's going to be great for the team. Offensively, that's a different story, but that's for a different article. Like something I talked about in my last video about Bill O'Brien being a quarterback guru or not. Kind of went on a little long in that video because I also showed a couple of plays. Don't know if I was past the line on that one. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it quits here. Cut it quits? That's a new one. Call it quits here. And cut the video. I'd like to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you check out the blog. I hope you check out my articles if I end up making some articles for Toro Times. But anyway, take care.